Hello, this is Marilyn from Maryland's on 5th Avenue South, and I'm here to talk about necklace lengths, which of course no one has told the jewelry people what lengths there are, but I'm going to give you, to the best of my knowledge, to interpret to what you do with these lengths, because we really don't care about the measurements on these lengths. We care about what clothing we're going to be wearing it with. So I thought there are about 6 of them I could pull out from the information that I could get off of the website. And I thought we would start out from the beginning, from the shortest. This one is called a collar. There isn't a lot about this because a lot of the collar and the choker, which is the next one I'm going to talk next, are sort of to begin with, except that the choker and the collar were in the old days in the 18th century was something that only prostitutes wear. So that's a nice piece of information. So when you wear these kinds of things, you can feel a little sexy anyway. What I wanted to show you is this is a collar is really close to the neck and very simple usually. And I know you've seen them when they were thicker. And it was done years ago to show, prostitutes. And also a lot of times they did it for political reasons to show defiance. So that's interesting. And it also involved, it looks good today with different kinds of necklines. And basically what I want to talk about the necklines is that the necklines really generally, as we're going through this, and I'm going to kind of mention which ones are better with certain things, is that the lower the neckline, the more you can fill the area. That's better for the shorter necklaces and for the chokers and even the princess length, which I'll talk about later. And all of those are because in the 18th century, it started to show more of the skin in the neckline, and those particular lengths became much more popular because up until that time, they really weren't wearing necklaces. And then if you think about the closer the neckline gets to your neck, that's when you start doing the longer necklaces, the ropes, and those that I'm going to describe today. So just as a rule of thumb, that's a good one. Here's the one that's the choker, which is the one we talked about, and you can see there's only about 2-inch difference here. But the best way to define these is that usually the choker is right around here where your collarbone is. And it's really there. It's good as a single little chain. It'll make a difference whether it's a skinny little chain or a bigger chain, or like a big one like this. This will make a statement. The other one will be more delicate. A lot of this has to do with the genre of the fabrics that you have around you, but it is a good indication on that one. The one that is very interesting, and this came across later, this is the princess, and it's very interesting, and I'm going to do that for you now, is to show you how this is another 2 inches added to the length, but here's where it's confusing. It doesn't look much longer than the choker, but how they measure these is they take the end here, and they measure it here. And this gave me the 18 inches I needed for princess length. Now, what princess length really isn't meant to be like these are, just a simple chain. For instance, they want closer to the neck, because on a V-neck, you want to wear something round. But you might want to wear a princess length, depending on how low it is, on something that's a round neck. Here, what they added to the princess length, that's when the pendants started to come into play. They would add a jewel here or something. That's when the necklines went really low. So that was predominantly the reason how this length came along. Then we go to the matinee, which is interesting because I almost think I should talk to you about the opera length first. Again, the opera length we always think of is the rope length, but it's really not. It's something shorter, about 30 inches, and it was meant to be worn without anything on the bottom like this. It was meant to be like a chain of pearls or something, mostly pearls, because you're thinking of going to the opera and giving your outfit a dressier look. So that's why they did it. But today we've added all kinds of things to that. And as you can see, that's the length of this necklace now becomes really long. Again, the rule of wearing something like this with a high neck probably stays to reason that it would do it. These lengths are used to accentuate the neckline of what you're wearing. When you start to put these on, this becomes the dominant structure of what you're looking at in design. The reason they call it matinee is because as years went on and movies came into it, they started to wear a shorter one. I would, with a matinee length, never wear it this way. It would always have some kind of a pendant on it because I think that's what it was used for. I have no idea why they called it matinee, but the way I remember it, it's before opera because it's a matinee. And as you can see, look at the difference. You do a couple things. It's very versatile in a lot of respects, the matinee length, because you can wear it as chain type strung, or you can do it with a pendant. Good time to tell you what necklace means. Necklace, obviously necklace, and lace is the French word for strand. So we're talking about a neck strand, and that's how it came about to be. You know, here's the opera lengths. It's interesting because I had a really tough time finding the 30 inches needed for an opera length, but there were many between the rope, which is 45 or above lengths. I think the basic thing I think here is when you start to get into the longer, you can start to double when you get into rope. And that's how I define the rope. The opera is just a little short to be doing that, and it's not cumbersome. So these are some of the lengths that aren't quite a rope yet, but close. They're like 40 inches. But these are the kind of things you can double. And that's when I make my decision about a rope on this one. And you can double it. So that's when they become that. And I didn't want you to be fooled. See here, I showed you another one where it was a double. And I'll take this off so you can see it. When I do these, I don't like this look when you're doing it. I like to see this. I think it's much better to make these uneven if you're going to do it as a single when you're doing it. Don't let these fool you. I got one here. I thought I'd bring a complicated one. Now, according to the length on this is opera length. But as you can see, it has a much longer length than that. So don't let these lengths drive you crazy. Just think about them that as the longer they get, the more you want to wear with a higher neck. The shorter they get, you want to wear an interesting neckline because it's going to emphasize the shape of that neckline. Anyway, I hope you found this as interesting as I did. This is Marilyn from Marilyn's in Naples, Florida, and I hope you come in and we'll match up all your clothes to your necklines. Thank you.